In the previous session, we've started seeing about foreign key constraints. In this session also, we will learn more about foreign key constraints. A quick recap of what we did in the previous session. We created a parent table and then we created a child table which refers to it. In this case, the parent table was the customer table and the customer orders table was the child, and the customer ID was referred onto the parent table's ID field. Okay, and then we inserted records into the master or the parent table and also the child tables. Then we tried to update the ID of the parent table, table's ID field with a value that is not there in the child table. So what happened is, since we already have a reference for that particular ID value in the child, it did not allow us to do. So what we did is, we deleted the referring row from the child table and then we deleted the record in the parent table. It worked. Okay. Now this was for an update command. Now let us see how it works for a delete command on the parent table. Obviously, when it doesn't work on an update, it is also not going to work on a delete. So we have to see first how to bypass this problem. Okay. So let us recheck what are all the values in the parent table and the child table. So we see two records in the child table for order ID 1 and 2 placed by customers 1 and 3. Let us recheck the customers also. So they are going to be 1 and 3. The names Jack and Jill. Now we need to delete records from the customer table when you have referencing records in the child table. Correct? So let me first, we will not bother about the syntax of this in detail. We will work on it later. So when I say delete from customers, I am trying to delete both the rows in the parent table. So this will not allow me because there are child records referring to this particular table. So usually what I need to do, I need to delete from the child table. So let me say customers order, right? So I say customer orders. I delete the record from the child table, which will work fine. Now I will delete the records in the parent table, which also works fine. You will see there are no records in these two tables. Okay, so we have checked that also. So this is a very cumbersome process where we need to have to check this. So we can actually bypass this problem at the time of creating of the constraint itself. So now let us see how that can be done. I am going to drop the child table, right? Because I don't need to delete the master table because there are no specific things that I need to do there. So I am only going to drop the child table here. Okay, so you still have the parent table, but it doesn't have any rows now. So we will go and insert the rows again on the parent table. The previous rows itself that we had, one for the ID Jack and two for the ID Jill. So let us check whether these rows are there in the master table, which they are. Now we will recreate the child table. In the previous syntax, I just said the name of the field, which table it is going to refer and what field it is going to refer. Now I have an option which I am adding on delete cascade. Okay. With this special command, I create the foreign key constraint. Let us create it. Now I am going to again insert records into this child table. Okay. One row is inserted. I think we inserted with ID 2. So we will insert with ID 2 here. Okay. So we will check once again the records of both the child and the parent. The child had orders ID 1 and 2 placed by customers IDs 1 and 2, which is Jack and Jill, which we have reconfirmed. Now if I try to delete from customers, let's see what happens on the child table. So I say delete from customers. This time it deleted successfully. Okay. So there are no records in the customer table. Let's check that. Fair enough. Now let us see what is the records in the child table. you will find that there are no data here as well, because when I give the command on delete cascade, what actually happens is it will delete all the referring records of the child which is made for a particular parent. So if you are recording the parent, deleting the parent key, the corresponding child key rows are also automatically deleted. Okay. Now let us try to insert. I am again putting back these values, Jack and Jill, in the master table. Okay. Let's do it. Let's confirm those records exist. Now I am going to insert in the child table also the two records back. But this time I am not deleting all the records. I am only deleting records of ID parent 2. Okay, so I am going to say ID is equal to 2, which means only one row in the master table is getting deleted. Sorry, it should be ID. So I delete only one row. Let us check what are all the rows available in the master table. So it deletes only one row. And now let's see what is the deletion in the customer table. Here also the row corresponding to the customer ID 2 alone is deleted. So this is what we have seen. If we give the command on delete cascade, all the child records that are verifying the corresponding master records IDs are also getting deleted at one shot. It need not throw the error. We are setting it this up based at the time of the creation of the reference key itself. Okay. So this you have to make a choice based upon what kind of application that you have for which you have these databases in place. And based on that you could decide to have these on delete cascade or not. Okay, with this I'll stop this section. In the next session we will do still work some more on the foreign key constraint itself. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.